Welcome to Daxue Talks, a show powered by Daxue Consulting, a China-based strategic market research company founded in 2010.
I'm Julien. I'm the CEO of Genius Insight. We are the leader here in Asia regarding LinkedIn services. So we help our clients to get more leads and more clients through LinkedIn. And besides that, with Thomas, we also run a community here in Shanghai called LinkedIn Local Shanghai.
And I am Tamar Hella. Thank you so much for having us. I am the COO of our agency, Genius Insight. So Julien and I are business partners. I founded the chapter of LinkedIn Local Shanghai. And if anyone's not familiar with what LinkedIn Local is, it is one of the largest professional networks globally centered around LinkedIn. And it's become so large that LinkedIn started governing us last year as volunteers. So in our community, we have about 3,000 members in Shanghai. However, globally, it's in over 100 countries and 1,100 cities. So it's quite an important network globally, and it's been amazing to see how it's grown in the past 3 years.
What can you share about LinkedIn SEO? What are some tricks to make your profile show up in the China sphere?
First point is I invite all the listeners to just type your first name and last name on Google. So just Google your name and you're gonna see 95% of the time, the first thing you're gonna find out is your LinkedIn profile. So definitely LinkedIn in SEO is very, very powerful. Well, to answer your question, listen, there are many ways to take advantage on the SEO on LinkedIn. First point is obviously to rewrite the permalink of your profile. So let's say by default you will have weird numbers, so it's not very optimized. So you have to rewrite your LinkedIn link appropriately. So for mine, for example, I decided to put my first name, last name, plus the name of my agency. Like that, whatever people, because obviously, especially when I need to convince new leads for being my clients, they are going to stalk me, right? So again, by writing that in my LinkedIn profile, it will increase the probabilities they found out my LinkedIn profile. Another point is obviously repeating the keyword. The more you're going to repeat the keyword in the hashtag of your post, let's say your financial advisor, the more you're going to repeat financial advisor, when people are going to type financial advisor, because LinkedIn has its own SEO, then the probability to be in the top 3, because the rest we don't care, right? What we want is to be in the top 3 position and be positioned in the keywords that we want. Then it's going to increase again. So to sum up, the permalink needs to be changed. When you post, you need to hashtag to find the relevant hashtag. And so point repeating the keyword in the summary, in the professional experiences on your LinkedIn profile, and that's the way you're going to increase again your SEO. And it works. I can give you many examples, and a proper one. I teach here in one of the best university in Shanghai, Chiaotong University. I am a digital marketing professor, and so for example, it was super interesting because obviously right now, even in the big institution like Fudan, big universities here, there are lack of for foreign professor for the university students, and it was funny because in one of my title in my professional experiences, it's written professor, right, of digital marketing. And I had maybe something like 5 to 6 proposals of different universities from being a professor in the university. Well, proposals that I refused because I didn't have time for that. But just to show you again, let's say, okay, here in Shanghai, there are lots of ESL teacher. Okay, but what is interesting right now, the markets really, I mean, like the number of American or ESL teachers that are properly right now in China, there are not that much. And right now it's June, and what are the school thinking? Okay, we are going to recruit, right? But yeah, and again, if these people, if their LinkedIn profile are optimized, I'm telling you, all the school, they will go on LinkedIn trying to find for a new ESL teacher, because okay, let's be optimistic for USA, but we don't know when it's going to reopen again. So they have already to envision all the recruitment. So it's again another way to show you why the SEO, it's super important, and whatever you do. So definitely for an ESL teacher, they're in a position of negotiating what they want. Why? Because the demand is high and the offer here in China, it's pretty low. So they can negotiate whatever income they want. So it's super easy. And especially, again, more if they are found on LinkedIn.
How does LinkedIn SEO work for articles? And how can LinkedIn users increase the longevity of their articles?
Articles are low on the algorithm right now. Maybe they'll come back. There's rumors that they will, but for now, no. So here's what you can do. If you think it's really important that you write an article, or you feel like you have so much to share, you can't summarize it in a post, make sure that that article obviously is adding value and showing your value. But more than that, make sure it's evergreen. Because what is nice about articles is they stay there forever and they are featured on your LinkedIn profile. You can also now use the feature carousel, which you can choose what you actually want to feature. That's really nice. For example, I wrote about how LinkedIn Local changed my life. Literally, like, changed my life and grew me into the person that I am today in Shanghai. So people, like, when they go to my profile, they often read it. And even over a year later, I still get reactions, comments, or people feel like they can connect to me just because of that article. So I would just really say, think more long-term strategy with articles, because they do have interesting posting and structural features. But I noticed someone in our community today said, oh, I'm gonna write 30 articles in 30 days. Sorry to tell you, but that's just a waste of time. So think short content, as Julian already pointed out. People are lazy. We have shorter attention spans. Our attention span is shorter than that of a goldfish nowadays because we're so bombarded by information. So think value, think evergreen, and don't focus so much on that. Focus more on consistently posting short posts, and even what we call micro content by commenting on other people's posts, which you can even do that for thought leaders in your industry, or maybe more like big influencers and you want to be noticed. Those are the two main kind of contents to really focus on for LinkedIn.
How should content strategies for individuals and companies differ?
One of the biggest concerns as a company is to attract the best talents. And right now, one of the biggest concerns for the companies is the brand empowerment. Because, there is in many companies a lot of stress or abuse. So they need to use, the social media and the employees to show, it's so cool to work at Apple or L'Oreal, whatever. So I think the purpose is different. I think really the big corporation, especially for the LinkedIn company pages, or even one of the greatest example actually is a former director of communication of Decathlon France. It was super interesting to show how really it was radical, but Decathlon, we have a good spirit, we help each other, So it's very different when you integrate the LinkedIn strategy to show, your company, all the employees feel good, rather than individuals are gonna share more about, other opinion, but definitely the company is gonna be centered on the company. Individuals they will share opinion on more important topics, on more different topics, and yeah, that's the main difference, I would say. We are talking more about brand empowerment for the companies and for individuals, and especially for solo entrepreneur or people that have a small, medium company. They will more focus about delivering value, about their expertise. Let's say you're an architect. Okay, you're going to explain me what is the new project, what is the main basic of architecture, but not necessarily, have to make more happy and productive your marketing manager. I mean, we don't care of that. And definitely the content strategy is different because you're just a small or medium company and there is no point. I mean, your name is not Chanel. I mean, obviously when you are Chanel, for example, you have other luxury brands that are your competitors, and obviously you're going to take advantage of LinkedIn by giving this image, these pictures that, working at Chanel is cool. And I would say that's the main difference, actually. Yeah.
Any questions? We will find an expert to answer them. Drop your questions in the comments or send us an email, dx@daxueconsulting.com.